Hello, friends. Hello. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. Sorry if it's lagging a little bit right now, but it'll be fixed in just a second. Don't you worry about it. Thank you everyone for joining today's stream. We're going to have a nice and fun stream doing a best ball draft over on Drafters. We're doing the $2.22 draft. I'm going to pull it up onto the screen. It is almost full. There's probably like 10 more drafts left. They are going to be opening up a second version of this, and they're running a poll right now. Maybe it'll be super flex, maybe it'll be 10 team, or maybe it'll be the exact same thing that it is right now. So we're going to go ahead and get on into it. If you guys want to go ahead and sign up on Drafters, make sure you do use the link in the video description. It will get you that free $20 ticket into the big contest. That is $250,000 to first place, as well as we'll give you our best ball draft kit. Good morning, Brett. I hope you are doing well. Hopefully everyone in the chat's having a good day. And if you guys have any questions about fantasy, best ball, anything like that, make sure you leave them in the chat. I love talking to you guys. It's the most fun part of the stream is talking to you guys. So make sure if you have any questions to ask, and let's get on into things. So the $2.22 Drafters Mini Best Ball Championship. There are 8 people needed to join. This contest is, let's see here. It is $10,000 to first, $5,000 to second, $2,500 to third. The thing I like most about Drafters, if I'm being honest with you, is that there is none of that playoffs. You don't have to worry about having that crazy team in week number 17. Now, obviously, I still believe that week 17 correlation is important, but this is a lot more like a normal fantasy football league, in my opinion, when compared to, say, on Underdog or one of those other websites. I think, personally, I enjoy doing these a lot. So make sure that you guys do sign up on here. And the reason why I like the site so much as well is because the $20 contest, there's only 20,000 people in it. Now, the NFL season is less than 20 days away. So the odds that 25,000 more entries get jammed into here is pretty low. Maybe it gets to 45,000, but even then there's some serious overlay and some serious money to be made in the best ball championship. 250,000 the first. Again, we are doing the smaller one, but just as fun. I'm still hunting for that big prize up top. So again, if anyone has any questions, if you guys are newer to best ball or anything, just make sure you ask any questions in the comment section, or not in the comment section, in the chat, and I'll make sure to answer them. So I've done, let's see, how many of these have I done? We can just pull it up right here. I have done 2 of the big $20 ones. I plan on doing a bunch more before it locks, and then I've done 19 of the drafts we're doing here. So I'm probably going to, this is going to be number 20. This is probably going to be the last one I can get in because, again, it's about a fill unless I opened up like 3 of them at the exact same time. But I don't think that's very enjoyable for you guys to watch me do 3 drafts at the same time. While it might be funny when I get mad because I like fucking miss my pick or I picked the wrong guy, at the end of the day, I don't think that's the best stream environment for you guys. So the thing is about to fill. I think we need 2 spots left, 24,930 entries out of 25,008. So make sure if you guys want to get in, you do that right now. So any NFL news to discuss? Now, there was some slight worries. I am now slightly worried about Alvin Kamara because it was brought up that it seems like his ass might get sued. I'm starting to worry a little bit. Again, I'm not panicking fully. I still think he's going to be just fine to play, but that is something to worry about just slightly. Just slightly. Good morning. Morning. Violence and anger is never the answer. That's right, OJ Simpson. Violence and anger is never the answer. You know that, right, OJ? You ever seen that video of OJ Simpson when the lady is interviewing him and he's like talking about how he didn't kill anyone and then he shows up to like her hotel door and like he just goes eek 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 and starts like fake stabbing her with like a fake knife. It is honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe that was actually aired on television. If you have not seen that, I genuinely think after the stream, obviously you got to watch the stream first, but after the stream, go fire that video up. That shit is so funny. Makes me laugh every time. Lock in a couple more shares of Mark Ingram just in case. I wouldn't say you should force yourself into Mark Ingram, but I do think that, look, there's still a chance he gets suspended. I still do not believe that Alvin Kamara will be suspended, but it is something to bring up. It is definitely a talking point because of it was brought up last night. I don't think it's going to happen, though. And I'm still, like, if Alvin Kamara falls to me in the second round where I'm picking, I'm still going to take him in this draft. So just so you know, I'm still confident in him. But I do think if Mark Ingram falls to you super deep, then you should draft him. Yeah, if I did it. If I did it, yeah. That was funny. OJ Simpson is quite the character. The guy doesn't go back to California, I believe, because he's worried that he might find the killer. He finds the killer every time when he wakes up in the morning and looks in the mirror. So very funny situation with OJ Simpson. Very strange guy. I think our draft has filled, but I probably have to refresh this bad boy. And then we'll get on into it. Let's see what pick we have. We are in the pre-draft right here. Join on in this thing. Bang. All right. So we are at the 2 spot here. A lot of guys I've drafted with before in here. I don't know if you guys are in the chat or if it just so happens to be that on drafters I see the same guys all the time, but that is entirely possible. So, have you played in any guillotine leagues? We're mid-draft right now, and I may have a question or two. Yeah, you feel free to ask your question. I've never played in a guillotine league, but I do understand how it works, so I can definitely help you out. What's up, bro? How soon should I reach for Akers? And is he the guy over Henderson in the Rams backfield? He's definitely the guy over Henderson, but I am somewhat worried about the fact of what Sean McVay has been saying about the fact that they kind of have a 1A, 1B scenario. They have 2 starters in this offense with Akers and Henderson. Now, I truly believe that they're going to try to give Akers the carries. I just don't know if it's going to work that way. I think if you're going to take Akers, the 4th round is the place that I'm looking to take him. I'm not reaching for him in the third round. I don't think he's worth a third round pick. I have very little Akers. It wouldn't surprise me though if he smashed in the fourth round. It was dominant because the fact that this LA Rams team is going to be so fucking good. There is still some worry about Stafford's elbow, but it doesn't seem to be serious. So I think the Rams are going to be good. I think Cam Akers has the upside to be good, but he's not a player that I would be looking to reach for in my drafts. I do definitely think I'd prefer to have Akers over Henderson, but Henderson falls so far in some of these drafts that he is one of my favorite targets. Where's he going right now on drafters? Henderson. Yeah, pick 126. That's absolutely insane for a running back. That if Akers was to go down, Darrell Henderson legitimately could be a top 10 running back those weeks. So the draft begins. Team Josh at the 101 selects Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to go ahead here and just go with the best player available. I think you can talk yourself into a receiver in a best ball format, right? You can take Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. You can take Jamar Chase. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor is the 101. I'm perfectly fine selecting Christian McCaffrey, though, at the 101, if I'm being honest with you. I think McCaffrey just has such crazy upside when he's healthy that it makes sense to select him number one overall. He definitely burned a lot of people, though, but I think he's going to be just fine. Rate this trade, please. Elijah Moore and Penny for DJ Moore. I have Harris, Barkley, Hall, Dylan at running back, Evans, Deontay Johnson, and Tony at receiver. Thank you for the question, Evan. Evan, did you get DJ Moore or did you trade away to get DJ Moore? I'm not a huge Elijah Moore guy, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that Elijah Moore is a good player. I think he could honestly be a superstar in the NFL. I'm just not too sure it's going to happen this year with Zach Wilson banged up and with Joe Flacco. So, again, it's no hate on the player. I would prefer to have DJ Moore personally, but I do like Rashad Penny a ton. But I think I'd rather lean with DJ Moore. Yeah, you're receiving DJ Moore, then yeah, I'd prefer that side of the trade if I'm being honest. It is a very not necessarily super even trade, but it's not something where you like absolutely fleece the other person. What's up, Nick? Would you ever play in a 12-man league with your subscribers on platforms like Yahoo or Sleeper? I have thought about that in the past. The biggest issue with it is that I just play in so many leagues that's very hard for me to follow. And I don't want to necessarily make a league and then not pay attention to it and then make you guys think I'm some douchebag who doesn't pay attention. So that's kind of why I haven't done one yet. But there is still a possibility. I think next year, if I was to do it, which probably would be next year, I would want to do the draft earlier in August. So I have like a clean block of when to do it because right now, for the next like 2 weekends, every day there's a draft and it makes it very difficult to find time to do other shit. And obviously, it's still the summer. So I want to make sure I still have time to do things. But that's a great question, Daniel. And if you need any help, if you guys need help in fantasy football and you're not subscribed to the Stochastic Fantasy Football channel, make sure you're subscribed to that. I know here we talk about best ball. It's pretty similar, but all the redraft content, a lot of my videos go up on there. I'm doing a mock draft every single day on there. So if you guys want to see that more towards fantasy football, make sure you check that out. I will link it in the chat later. My guilty league is a 16-team league, half PPR. In the 8th spot, got Najee, Debo. Round 3, I could get Demont, Brees, Kittle, Etienne, DJ. I would go ahead and reach for another running back. Now, I don't love Brees Hall, but I think I would take Brees Hall there in a 16-team league. And then after that, I would just start hammering in on wide receivers because your running back core is going to look depleted if you wait super long in a 16-team league. That's just kind of how I feel. So back on into the draft here. After we went JT, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris. Second round opens Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, and Alvin Kamara. So nothing super strange, nothing out of the ordinary has happened yet. Now, in most redraft leagues, you're not going to see Stephon Diggs go inside the top 6, but it is entirely possible in best ball that you could see that in your draft. Again, I don't think it's super weird to take Diggs at 6, but I definitely would have taken Eckler ahead of a lot of these guys. I really think Eckler is being slept on, and that might not be the case if you do a draft on like Yahoo or NFL or ESPN. He'll just be like the 3rd or 4th pick, but in best ball, he's being very slept upon right now, and I really think he could easily finish as the number 1 back in the NFL in terms of fantasy football. He's one of those guys that has that 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing yard upside, and that is very hard to come by in the NFL nowadays. I mean, back in the day, technically, I guess back in the day, they weren't catching that many passes, but there's not that many quote unquote workhorse running backs in the NFL anymore. And I really think that Austin Eckler should be considered a workhorse running back, even if he doesn't get 20 plus rushes a game. Hope I did not mean to do that. I should turn my camera off. That was an accident. So let's see here. We're about to be back up. We already got JT. My boy T. Higgins went. I like Mark Andrews. I like Mike Evans. Let's look at the running backs real quick. Running backs are falling off the edge of the earth here. We're gonna go receiver. I still like Mike Evans a lot. I know some people are worried about Mike Evans right now because of the fact that maybe like he's slightly banged up, but he's perfectly fine now. And they have Godwin, they have Julio Jones, they have Russell Gage. People are just panicking. I don't think you should really panic with the Buccaneers offense. They're going to be one of the most pass heavy teams in the NFL. Tom Brady's back. I really don't think that you should worry at all. So Mike Evans, Mark Andrews, Tyreek Hill, pretty solid picks right here. Getting one of the best running back in fantasy football, potentially one of the best tight ends, and a top end receiver. That's an excellent start to the draft, if I'm being honest. I don't like Nick Chubb, if I'm being honest with you, but I think I need to get more shares of him because it is entirely possible that this year at the beginning, without Deshaun Watson, they just hammer the fucking ball down the throat of the defense. They're just running the ball just aggressively. They just are hammering the rock. And then later on in the season, we see them open up a little bit more in the passing game with Watson. Now, again, that could be incorrect, but when you get Nick Chubb in the third round, he's not a guy that I want in the first or the second round, but in the third round, I feel comfortable selecting him. I just think he's kind of a boring pick because I don't really see him finishing as a top 5 running back, but I think he finishes anywhere as like running back 8 through 14. Doesn't do anything crazy, but is a safe player in your roster every week. I know in best ball, a lot of people are looking for this crazy upside, but I think if you have Nick Chubb in your roster every single week, he's still going to help you potentially take down one of these contests. I like how you are able to differentiate between redraft and best ball advice for your viewers. They're very different, and I don't like when fantasy influencers give the same advice for each format. And yeah, I agree. I think that some of the things are very similar, right? My takes on most players are exactly the same, but when I'm in the actual draft, there's a reason why I might select someone in best ball compared to redraft. For instance, in redraft, I'm basically just staying clear away from DK Metcalf, but in best ball, I think DK Metcalf, when he has those huge games, he's going to really help you potentially win the whole thing. So I'm fine with DK Metcalf, but in redraft, dude, there's going to be games where Metcalf scores like 25, 30 fantasy points. And there's going to be games where DK Metcalf sucks complete and utter ass because Horsecock, Drew Lock, or Geno Smith aren't very good. So those are kind of some of the things that I kind of differentiate with. Who's a guy in the first 2 rounds that you have the least amount of? Excellent question. It is 100% either Javonte Williams or Dalvin Cook. I have very little Dalvin Cook, and that's not because I dislike Dalvin Cook. It's because when I'm up to pick by Dalvin Cook, normally I'll just take Derrick Henry or I'll just take Najee Harris. A lot of people are out on Najee Harris. I understand that he had a crazy amount of targets in that one game, right? He had just a shit ton of targets. That was a crazy ass game he had last year. But I do think he's still a key part in this offense. I do know that in the past, like every year, Mike Tomlin uses a workhorse running back. He's going to give the reins to Najee Harris. So I'm comfortable taking Harris. I know some people are a little afraid of him, though. Chubb's one of those dudes that's not a sexy pick, but he's always great to have on your team. That's basically took the words right out of my mouth. That's basically what I was trying to say, but you put it a little bit better than I did. So nothing strange here. I know in redraft, I typically would say you're an idiot for taking Josh Allen in the top 4 rounds, but I think in best ball it's acceptable. Issue though, not stacked at all with Stephon Diggs, so I think that's a little bit of a crazy take. But you never know because this Josh Allen pick here could turn into Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, Jamison Crowder, uh, Isaiah McKenzie as well. So not gonna chirp him. So we got a pretty balanced start to the draft. 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver. I really do think there is a pretty clear dead zone here in the 4th, 5th, 6th round at the running back position. Like Zeke's fine, but then you get into these guys like J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, Elijah Mitchell, Josh Jacobs, guys that I just don't really like all that much, that I'd rather just draft the receivers. Horsecock Drew Lock, baby. That is a classic. Same with 9-inch Nicholas Chubb. I should have said his name when I picked him. So JT, Nicholas Chubb, Mike Evans on the roster so far. They're going to do a nice Tampa Bay stack here. I don't have to reach on Godwin just yet. Tight ends, I like Kittle, but again, not in the fourth round for me. And we're staying away from the running back. So we're just going to go best wide receiver available. In my book, that is Deontay Johnson. People are also scared about Deontay Johnson for some stupid reason, right? I understand that Big Ben force fed Deontay Johnson the ball, but whoever plays quarterback there, whether it's small hands, Kenny Pickett, kissing titties, Mitchell Trubisky, even Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, they are going to be perfectly fine. These like Deontay Johnson's going to be perfectly fine. Like, I don't know why people are so worried. Again, we're staying away from the running backs. I want Brady, but he doesn't go until much later. The correlation with Brady for week 17, I don't think you necessarily need on drafters. You could draft is the Carolina Panthers. So we are going to go wide receiver here. Ooh, it's definitely a reach for Godwin at this point. But I'm gonna do it because I really think when Godwin returns, he has top 5 wide receiver potential. Now, in a redraft league, I think it's a little bit crazy to go Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the same team. I think in redraft, you should kind of just stick to one or the other. But I think in best ball, it's perfectly fine to get that stack early on your team. That could really help you take down one of these big tournaments. Now, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea in redraft to go 2 players on the same team. I'm pretty sure I won my redraft league, my 14 team league in high school with Big Ben, AB, and Martavius Bryant. Was that his name? I think he's out of the league for smoking some of that loud. But yeah, that team won me a league. So you can definitely go pretty heavy on a team, but it is risky, right? If that team has a bad game any given week, you're really getting dumpstered here. Deontay scares me only because of how much Ben loves him. Yeah, Ben did love him, right? Ben was feeding him the rock, but I think these quarterbacks are better than Ben. So, once the season starts, would you be live streaming every Sunday on this channel? I believe it's going to be on the fantasy football channel. I could be wrong, and it might be on both channels. But I will link you the fantasy football channel, and I need to make sure that I talk about this more when we're streaming because if you guys are just coming from watching my old videos, a lot of the content that you're probably used to being on here is on there. So I'm going to link it to you right now. I'm sorry if my voice gets a little bit laggy here because I'm opening up the YouTube channel and for some reason my computer just shits the bed. So here we go. There's the link. If anyone's a mod in the chat, I don't remember who I modded or if there's anyone in the chat, but if you are a mod, make sure you pin that for me. I really appreciate that. But I can go and pin it in a second. I love you, motherfuckers. I'm here for the fantasy IQ, or the high fantasy IQ. What's up, Sammy? Hope you're doing well, baby. Buffalo War Pigs. Do you like Pat Frymouth this year? I do like him. I think that he's going underrated in a lot of these best ball sites. Let's see here. Yeah, he's going way too deep. I think he has top 5 potential at tight end. Again, I'm not saying that he's like a must draft candidate, but he's still pretty good. Sammy, what's your issue? What's happening? Just let me know, and I could forward it to someone. I'll have someone message you, and they'll figure it out. They'll sort it out for you. All right. So TB12, 88 and a half ADP. Definitely a reach, but we're gonna have to select him in the 7th round because he's not gonna come back in the 8th round. That's kind of one of the biggest. Or I have to pick him either here or here. I think I'm gonna wait till the 7th round. If I don't take him, I'm not gonna get him. So that's just a reach I'm willing to do personally. A lot of good QBs on the board still. Trey Lance's ADP is moving. On your redraft leagues, though, people are really sleeping on Trey Lance, dude. I'm seeing him going like the 8th, 9th round. It's fucking absurd with how good Trey Lance could potentially be that he's going that late. He's my number 1 target in redraft leagues this year at the quarterback position. I really do think that it's kind of just a no-brainer to take him. Looking at the board here, we have a pretty solid team. Let's look at the Panthers players still available. Oh, no problem, Sammy. It says I am a member already, but when I try to rejoin, it says I am already a member. Yeah, just contact the support. Our support team's pretty quick. Pretty quick at getting back to you. I'm sure it won't be much of an issue. Or it should be resolved soon. So let's go to Carolina real quick. Oh, man, there's a lot of positive reports on Hollywood Higgins for the Panthers. So he's kind of a really interesting deep shot for that correlation that I want here. No one take fucking Tom Brady, you scumbags. No one take him. There's no reason for this guy to take him or this guy. So interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receiver start. This is a full PPR website, so it does make sense to go heavy on receiver. Let's see here. Again, I'm just kind of avoiding the running backs in this range. I'm going to go receiver. Dalton Schultz in the 6th, pick 69. Chef's kiss. Beautiful pick. Let's see here. Let's go. Fuck. I like Drake London. I'm going to go Drake London, even though he's banged up right now. I just think the upside in Atlanta is just crazy. It's so big. All right. And then we're going to Tom. Please don't take Tom. And I'll answer the questions in the chat. Hopefully my mans does not take my boy Tom Brady. 12 seconds. Really dribbling the clock down here. Brandon Ayuk. I love Brandon Ayuk. Great pick. Tampa Bay Tom. Welcome to the squad. Apparently he didn't go on Mass Singer. He was just on a vacation with his family. Just traded T-Law for Fields and Mooney in my Dynasty League yesterday. Did I win? I wouldn't say that you lost. I would say that's a pretty solid trade. I like Mooney a bunch for redraft as well as Dynasty. And I think that without Matt Nagy in Chicago, the upside of Fields is pretty high. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I think that Fields really should have a offensive-minded head coach. Like, I don't know why the Bears, when you draft a new quarterback, why are you going towards a defensive-minded head coach? To me, that doesn't make very much sense. I guess that's why I'm not a GM in the NFL, right? But I think I'd prefer Fields and Mooney personally. Oh man, but it is close. I like T-Law a ton too. That's a pretty even trade, if I'm being honest. Who do you prefer at quarterback, Lance or Hurts? Definitely Hurts. Yes, sir, Sammy. On the site, you can pay $20 to sign up through PayPal. Nick, you can't use debit card. You can use a debit card. See, I can't necessarily. I can kind of pull it up for you. So you go like this. Oh, I'm not signed in. All right, let me just throw this on the other screen. I mean, obviously I'm signed in. I'm doing the draft right now. I'm gonna figure out my password to websites. Absolutely insane. My password, guys. I didn't. Don't worry. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. So when you go, let me just make sure actually it doesn't show anything. Okay. So when you go on to, sorry about this, guys. I didn't know it's getting a little confusing here. When you go to the deposit thing, instead of PayPal, all you got to do is click PayPal not working, try this, and it'll let you put in your credit card or your debit card. That's how you do it. And then you can use promo code Stochastic. You got to deposit $20 and you'll get the $20 free ticket as well. I love the stupid drafters, the ones that snipe out of spite. Let's fucking go Buffalo War Pigs. That's a fact. People do snipe out. And no, it's not. You're not interrupting because multiple people have asked me this question. So you're not interrupting at all. Don't feel bad. You are not interrupting the stream at all. Well, it is the Bears. That's true. I just love Mooney. I agree. I love Mooney as well. No problem, man. Trust me, there's no stupid questions you can ask. The stupidest thing you can do is not ask a question, and then it might be difficult for you to figure out what to do, and then you're gonna be in a bad spot. So always make sure feel open to asking any questions. So we're kind of exiting the running back dead zone here. We're in the 8th round. I think it's acceptable to take a running back here. The tight ends were out of that zone that I really like. So we're probably just going either wide receiver or running back here. I love Treylon Burks, but man, I'm starting to get nervous. They're talking about Nick Westbrook, Ikain opening as the number 2 receiver there. I like Robert Woods a ton. I liked him a lot last year. I liked him over Cooper Kupp. Sadly, Robert Woods did not attend breakfast with Cooper Cup and Matthew Stafford. And then we ended up seeing what happened last season. But I think in Tennessee, even on a run heavy team, Robert Woods is in a very good position to put up some solid numbers. And I really like the Tennessee stack, Robert Woods as well as Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill is just so cheap in drafts right now that is absolutely insane. Alrighty. So let's go with, yeah, I like Woods a ton. Nick, tell your parents that they did a good job raising you. You're a class act. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it. I'll make sure to tell my dad and my mom later. Alrighty. So we're going running back here. I love Damian Pierce. He's going to move up in redraft leagues probably into like the ninth round. He's moving here into the ninth round. If you want him, you got to take him here. Our running back by weeks correlate with either of these guys. I'm going Penny personally. I really think that Rashad Penny is going to dominate this year. I've been banging the drum for him for months. So if you guys have been watching a lot of my videos, I've talked about him so heavily. He's one of those guys that really caught on at the end of last year if he can stay healthy. Now, it's a huge if, right? For years, Rashad Penny has just been banged up. He never makes it through the year. He never becomes the guy that he has the upside to be. But if he ever could stay healthy, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Rashad Penny does have top 12 upside. I understand that most people kind of have get a bad taste in their mouth, right? Drafting a running back on a team that we all expect to be shit. We all expect the Seattle Seahawks to be shit, but at the end of the day, the Seahawks are going to be a team that can still run the ball. Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. We've seen running backs on bad teams play very well, so I love Rashad Penny here. Dak Prescott in the ninth round is a fucking steal. Steal. I'm happy Nick's parents made him. What a magical night it must have been. Tannehill is my highest on quarterback on our dog through 35 drafts, a lot paired with Woods and Hooper. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing Tannehill, Burks, and Hooper, or Tannehill, Woods, and Hooper. Pierce is going high in drafts. Yes, he is going much higher now. I've been banging the drum for him for a while. Thank you, Sammy, for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. SDSU alum. Let's go. The most idiotic pick I've seen in draft is someone took Herbert at number 2. Oh my god. In round 1, someone took Herbert. That will happen though. In redraft leagues, some people you play with are fucking crazy. And that's just something you're gonna have to get used to. When you do these drafts with people that aren't as tuned into fantasy, crazy things are gonna happen. You're worth more than $1. I'll bless you soon. It's okay, Sammy. You don't need to force yourself to donate. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you. Anyways, just you guys showing up here. I appreciate it. Love you. Love all you guys. I've seen Tom Brady go round 1. I've seen that too. I've seen that too. Normally not in best ball. People are not that crazy, but in redraft leagues, you'll see some crazy shit happen. So we got Tom. Tennessee plays Dallas week 17, so we're gonna need some Dallas guys if we go with the Tannehill stack, which I kind of like. Our other receivers, I like Mariota. I'm thinking Ritter might get to the play at the end of the season, but in this kind of a format, what is more valuable? Because there's no playoffs. So technically, um, it's not, you don't necessarily need the guy playing the last 3 games. Maybe it's more valuable to have Mariota who's playing, say, 10 of the games. I don't know. I still think Mariota might end up starting all year. I don't force. It's out of love. Thank you, Sammy. I really appreciate it. Alrighty. Let's see here. The quarterbacks are starting to fall off a little bit. I think Rodgers is being discredited a lot in redraft and best ball leagues, but I don't even have him ranked in the top 12. So I guess technically I'm also discrediting him. He's back-to-back MVP. I understand they don't have Devontae Adams, but they still have enough receivers there where he's going to be just fine, I think. So I like Aaron Rodgers a ton. And then after Rodgers, we get to kind of Kirk Cousins. And then after that, it just kind of falls off the edge of the earth. I really like Tua. I like Jameis. I like Matt Ryan. And I like Tannehill. But a lot of these quarterbacks down here have huge question marks. Like, I think Lawrence could really take that next step up in his second year. But Lawrence could also just, he doesn't have these crazy weapons. I understand the weapons are better this year compared to last, right? They bring in Christian Kirk. But it's not that Christian Kirk is really that amazing. Like, I think they overpaid for him. Oh, man, it's crazy with Lawrence. I think Lawrence is one of those guys that could really smash and could really just, I don't think he really has a, I think he's either going to be really good or really bad. It's funny doing best ball drafts like crazy, then going to my first redraft league and it's all running backs in the first round and Josh Allen. So different. Yeah. The biggest difference really, honestly, in redraft and best ball is the clock. Here you have 30 seconds in a redraft league. Motherfuckers are taking a minute and a half to make their pick. And obviously, I understand why, right? They're not sitting here doing a million best ball drafts and all these drafts like I do, but tough scene. My cheat code is listening to Osmo, Underdog Guys, Pete Overzet, and ETR. It's a no brainer. Yeah, I really like Overzet as well. We had him on. I think you were there, Sammy. He's a great guy. Those are all great guys that you mentioned there. Dougie P is a great coach. Trevor should look good. Will look good this year. I think Dougie P is a great coach as well. Dougie Peterson, baby. I miss Doug Marone though in Jacksonville. The goat. The boy Urban Meyer is going to be on. I think. See, I don't follow college football like that, so he's going to be on one of the networks, which is fucking funny. Gonna hunt down some sorority girls. Alrighty. Let's see here. Probably just gonna go receiver again, and yeah, we're gonna get that correlation if we do go with Tannehill and get Jalen Tolbert. I love Jalen Tolbert. I might be too in on Jalen Tolbert compared to most people, but I really think Jalen Tolbert is going to be the number 2 receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. It depends when Gallup comes back. If Gallup comes back like instantly, like 3 weeks in, then maybe this pick looks ridiculous. But if Gallup comes back, say 6 weeks in, and Tolbert looks really good, then maybe Tolbert will have stolen enough target share in the offense that Michael Gallup just can't make that back. All right. Quarterback, yeah, we're just gonna wait. We don't have a tight end yet. Albert O, it looks dangerous that he's playing so much with the Denver Broncos. Gesicki, I don't love Gesicki. Um, we're just gonna go running back here, snag one more, and then kind of fade away. I like Darrell Henderson a ton. We talked about him a little bit earlier with Cam Akers. While I think Cam Akers is a perfectly acceptable pick, I think Darrell Henderson is being slept on in the 11th round. I think Darrell Henderson has the upside to what happens if Cam Akers. Now, again, I'm not saying that his injury or surgery or something went wrong, right? What happens if his injury does hamper him, and then we see a lot of Darrell? Like, there could be multiple games this year where Darrell Henderson drops 20 points and you can get that in the 11th round. Now, it might be difficult to figure out in redraft, but I feel like you're going to know before the game what's going to be happening. So I like Darrell Henderson a ton. I'm drafting him a lot. A lot. Doug had Carson as an MVP candidate year 2. That is very true. Until they land Fuller. That is possible. I am a little older than the most. I don't do the Twitter thing as much as I used to. I do read a lot of the fantasy stuff. I like Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time because that's where I read all the news about football. I found this one Twitter account. It does spam your phone though, just so you know, but it's called, I think, 32 beat writers. And in the off season, they have all these 32 beat writers, so one from each team, and they just retweet everything possible that you might need to know about the NFL and all those teams for fantasy football. They retweet. That is like the most useful source that I use. I know you do follow me, Sammy. I've seen you on there before. I appreciate that. I try to tweet stuff that's good for fantasy football. I also just tweet out random things that come to my mind. I have a stack with Mixon and Chase in one of my leagues. I love that. And I appreciate that, Sammy. I follow a lot of people on Twitter. Twitter's a crazy place if you follow a lot of people because you are going to see a lot of varying opinions on fantasy football. All right. Twitter is by far the best source for anything football. By the time ESPN posted an article, yeah, their website is already outdated. That's true. It might have been the offense in Seattle, but Russ didn't throw to the tight end a lot. Jimmy Graham died up there. Yeah, it could have. It could just be how Pete Carroll ran the offense. But the reason why I'm worried about Albert Aquabonum, or however you say his name, sorry, Alberto, if you're watching this, the reason why I'm worried is because he's playing deep into the game. Like he's in the game in the fourth quarter in the preseason, and none of the starters are out there. So either that means what Savoca told me yesterday. This could mean that hey, Albert O is playing deep into the game because they want to heavily rely on him. They want to get him a lot of snaps. They want to get him prepared. That's what it could mean. But it could also mean that he is disappointing and that he's not looking good and that the team doesn't want to, or they want to see maybe more out of him before they commit to him. So that does worry me a little bit. I only hang with the best. Thank you, Sammy. So it's a little bit worrisome. A little bit worrisome. It is the most wonderful time of the year, though. We only have, what is it? It's basically like 2 weeks away from kickoff at this point. So crazy. The Buffalo War Pigs versus the Denver Broncos should be a beautiful game. All right, we got to ping Tannehill. Don't have a tight end yet. I'm kind of liking Irv Smith. Again, I think Gesicki could be really good. He just isn't good at blocking, and the Dolphins' offense needs you to be good at blocking with this Mike McDaniel system. So I'm a little bit worried. Irv Smith, I like a decent amount, but he is coming off surgery. I like Hunter Henry. So when you're in this range, I'm just double tapping tight end. Like I might just take 2 right here. In redraft, I only normally take 1, but in best ball, I'm taking 2 that I really think have upside. My nephew thinks he's slick. 14-team league this year. I'm only in 2 home leagues. Yeah, I'm in, I think, 5 leagues or 6, and it gets difficult to manage. Especially like on Sunday, what I'm really caring about is trying to like set these DFS lineups, do all this stuff, and it's a lot. It really is, especially while I'm on live stream talking about football. Do you dabble with Jock Market at all? Found the most success on there. I don't think Jock Market is legal in New Jersey. A lot of these niche fantasy websites are not legal in New Jersey, and it really sucks. All right, tight end. We're gonna go Irv, big Irv. I was big into Irv Smith last year. Was swinging aggressively on him, and he obviously got hurt. But this year could be the bounce back season. What's up, Spock? How you doing, man? Speaking of tight ends, what happened with your guy Gesicki? He's out of the passing game. Yeah. So I think basically what happened is that Gesicki is a good pass catcher, but he's not very good at blocking. And I've known that for years. He's not a blocker. He's basically now the best comparison for him in the NFL is Kyle Pitts. But he's not Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is significantly better than him. But you get what I'm saying. Kyle Pitts is not going out there to fucking block. Kyle Pitts is going out there to run around very fast, be a huge man, catch the pass. That's what he does. That's what he does. So Gesicki also does that. Not as effectively as Kyle Pitts, but he also does do that, but he doesn't block. And the Dolphins system needs him to block. So I think Gesicki has a lot of upside if he learns how to block. Have the 6th and 11th in my draft. Wondering who I should target. Okay. The 6th pick up here, I'm looking to go either wide receiver. So if Cup or Jefferson are there, it's a smash pick. If Eckler is there, it's a smash pick. That's kind of how I feel. And then at pick 11, I'm looking for Swift, Harris, Mixon, those guys. And then in the 2nd round, I'm looking to smash on Alvin Kamara. Underdog and DK are all I need for best ball. The reason why I like drafters is because this shit isn't going to fill the other contest, and there's going to be a lot of overlay, so it makes it significantly easier to win. All the other websites, all the contests fill. I have Irv Smith. I like Irv Smith. Gesicki. Yeah, Spock is slime ball virus. I've drafted a Spock a couple of times. He's a great drafter. All right, who should I start in my flex? That's a deep question, man. I don't even know who the Commanders are playing. The Commanders, basically, I would just start the guy you drafted the earliest, which is McLaurin. I think McLaurin has a lot of upside this year, and I'm definitely rolling him out there over all those other guys, personally. Oh, actually, I lied. I'm going with Sutton. Sutton's going to butt fuck the Seattle Seahawks, so I'm going Sutton. Puke Johnson, baby. I also got Drake London. That's awesome. I would go with Sutton, though. I only have a few underdog teams this year. Yeah, I tried to ramp it up this year, play a little bit more. It's all about what you have time for, what you have the correct money for. Don't want to spend way too much money. That's what happens to a lot of people. You just fucking do it. It's so fun. You can just sit here and you just end up spending way too much money. So make sure you manage the amount of money you're spending. Manage that bankroll. That's the one thing I like about this contest. It's only $2.22, so I don't feel bad about ripping off 20 of these. Alrighty. Interesting draft so far. Nothing crazy. What do you guys think about Isaiah Pacheco? If you guys are clued in on fantasy, this Pacheco fellow is looking really good for the Chiefs. But I don't think he's going to pass CH. So rise above everything, or anything, sorry. I went Jonathan Taylor, Mike Evans, Nicholas Chubb, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, Drake London, Tom Brady, Robert Woods, Penny, Tolbert, Henderson, Irv Smith, and Gerald Everett. And the team is right here on the right side. If Jonathan Taylor was taken, I would have went McCaffrey. I think the best strategy in best ball, honestly, is just to draft running backs right off the rip and then just start hammering receivers. It seems like everyone else is doing the exact opposite. So when everyone's hammering receivers, I just do the opposite, go running backs. And then you could utilize the hero running back strategy, the double hero running back, and then you just don't draft a running back until much later. See, like I drafted Jonathan Taylor and Chubb, and then had a bunch of rounds without a running back, and then started him running backs again. That's kind of what I like to do. All right. Oh, I love Higby. Great pick. All right. Eventually, we're gonna have to take Tannehill. Gonna be a slight reach here. This guy already has two quarterbacks, so we're not gonna do it yet. Gonna go receiver. Let's see here. I like Marvin Jones a ton. I think Marvin Jones could be the number one receiver in Jacksonville. I understand they just paid up heavily for um Christian Kirk, who I just mentioned. I think Christian Kirk's a pretty good pick in best ball and a redraft, but I think Marvin Jones also could command a large target share in this offense. Stash Pacheco, the Chiefs are running way more 12 and 21 personnel. Good for the running backs. That is good for the running backs. I agree. I think Pacheco is definitely worthy of a pick. I just think some people have talked him up way too high. Some people are fucking crazy. Let's go Tannehill. Really like Tannehill this year. Last year he was not very good, but that's because Henry was gone. If Henry stays healthy, Tannehill's going to be great. Good team, Nick. Slick Nick, young gun. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. Yeah, this has been a pretty solid draft so far. Normally, I like drafting a tight end earlier. I think your team just looks better when you have one of those elite tight ends because, right, we have fucking Irv Smith and Gerald Everett, right? Those aren't guys that are getting you wet downstairs, if you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I do think that they're good players, and you don't have to worry about figuring out when to start them, right? They just go into your lineup when they're the highest score. So it's not as nerve wracking. In these 20 round drafts on drafters, I think going either three quarterbacks or three tight ends is almost a necessary thing. Now, you don't have to go both three and three, but I think doing one or the other is something that I typically do. I'm concentrating on redraft and DFS this year, Sammy. It's only a handful of best ball teams. That makes sense. You were doing a lot of those Yahoo drafts. Those are very valuable, apparently, based on what you're saying. These paid leagues where you're basically drafting with a bunch of dumbasses seem to be very valuable. Yes, agreed, Paulie. I wonder how much delay is on these streams in StreamYard. I don't think it's very much. I think it's probably like a 5-second delay. So when I say something, I assume you guys are reacting pretty instantly to it. Zamir White, excellent pick deep in drafts. They let go of my boy Kenyon Drake, the Raiders. So Zamir White could potentially zoom up into a really good position with the Raiders, and the Raiders are a team that obviously everyone projects to be really fucking good, right? After Zamir White, we see Noah Fant, Raheem Mostert, Sammy Watkins, Jamal Williams, and J.D. McKisson. Sorry if I keep muting because I went ahead and ate Wendy's before this stream, and I drank like a hella soda, and that always makes me fucking burp. Not the best idea before a stream, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Just went Mixon, Barkley, 12, 13, pass on Adams and CD. Thoughts? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I think I would have agreed with you and went Mixon, Barkley. I think so many people going receiver early. Like I think it's a good strategy, and again, you can win doing that. But I think the thing that's actually going to win is going to be someone who goes running back early and then just starts spamming receivers in the middle rounds. Here's a tip for redraft people who stream defense. The Browns start off with the Jets, Steelers, and Falcons, a good team to draft for the first 3 weeks. I agree. My favorite defense to draft is because I'm fine just streaming every week. And there's actually going to be a video on the fantasy football channel on Wednesday, I believe, or Thursday, one or the other, where I talk about my favorite defenses to draft and the must draft defenses for week one. And that's one of them, the Browns. The other one that I really like is the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to eviscerate Horsecock Drew Lock on Monday Night Football. That's a bad Monday Night Football game. Obviously, it's cool because you're getting the narrative of Russell Wilson versus the Seahawks. That's all cool, right? I understand why they schedule it like that, but in reality, that's not going to be the best game. Wide receiver production is easier to get lucky on, so I like 4 to 5 running backs and like 9 receivers. Typically, what I do as well. I see people doing 3 running backs. I think that's a little fucking crazy. I love it, Brett. That's what I would have done. Yeah, that's what I would have done as well, most likely as well. I'm starting to warm up to Barkley. I was pissed. I went to the Giants game on Sunday, and they said they were going to start Barkley, and Barkley didn't even get a single snap. I wanted to see the man. I don't even think Joe Burrow was there. I was looking the whole time to try to find my boy Joe Shiesty. He wasn't even there. Need another running back for show. Oh, show. Jameson Williams is interesting. He's gonna miss some time, obviously, to start the season, but when he comes back, he could be the number 2 receiver in Detroit. I really do like DJ Chark though, so I guess technically that's and of course he gets picked, right, as I'm talking about him. Will Fuller's eventually gonna sign with someone. Where is he gonna sign though? Best bet for me would be I don't even know, maybe the Packers. Alrighty. Running back. I don't love these running backs. We're gonna have to draft another one. So we're gonna go with Eno. Boy, Eno. I like James Conner, but if Conner was to go down, I think Eno is in a really good spot to succeed. It's pretty clear he's the number 2 guy there. Then we're gonna go receiver. Definitely gonna reach here. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 receivers on the same team with the Titans. We're gonna go Nick Westbrook, Ekain here. Seems to be the number 2 receiver pretty clearly on the team. I think Burks is going to eventually play. Maybe this looks like a bad pick, but it is the 17th round, so I'm fine taking that gamble with him, especially since we already have Evans, Godwin, Johnson, London, Woods, all these guys that I really like. Let's see here. What is your opinion on Keenan versus Mike Will? I like Keenan pretty heavily over him. Now, obviously, in best ball, the question is a little bit different because Mike Williams is going to have those crazy games where he just dominates, right? Drops like 40 points, but there's going to be games where he does nothing. Keenan's much safer and also has a similar upside. I definitely prefer Keenan. I managed to draft Justin Jefferson, Najee Debo, Kyle Pitts, Nick Chubb, and Lamar. Well, congratulations, my main man. I'm pretty sure you won your league. I invested $1 for DFS on Saturday and won 22.50 GPP. Congratulations. That's awesome. I try to stay away from preseason DFS. The stochastic projections are really good. I just don't love sitting down and watching all these backups. Like I do watch the games. I try to watch basically anything I see about it on Twitter. But for me, I just can't do it in preseason. During the regular season, I'll be playing as much basketball as fucking or not basketball, as much DFS as possible. But right now I try to calm down a little bit. I play a lot of UFC though. I think the UFC is excellent for DFS. That knockout on Usman was fucking insane. If anyone watched that, absolutely bananas. Pick one: Rondell Moore, Garrett Wilson, Sky Moore. I'd rather have Sky. It would go. The order is the reverse of what you said, so I'd go Sky Moore, Garrett Wilson, Rondell Moore in that order. Rondale has some early season value. I agree. I just don't know what he's going to do when we see what's his name. Once we see DeAndre Hopkins come back, I'm just not too sure what we're going to see and how valuable that Rondale Moore will be. Now, he might be one of those guys where if you're in a league with a bunch of idiots, have you ever seen those videos on YouTube where it's like draft your idiot league mates will not draft these players or whatever. Like your idiot league mates might not realize that DeAndre Hopkins is gone and you could just trade them Rondell Moore after he fucking goes ballistic in like week 3. Because that could easily happen. I listen to Awesemo every day. That's awesome, man. I love all the guys I work with do a really good job about talking about basically everything, every single sport. I am on the Mike Williams train this year. I like Mike Williams, and so I hope what I said about Mike Williams doesn't make you nervous about Mike Williams. I still really like him a lot. Understandable, Nick, about DFS. Yeah, again, I like preseason football. I would just rather save all my bullets for week 1 and unload the clip in week 1 and go for broke there. Do you think picking up Sky Moore through waivers is worth it? Yes. But let me know who you're going to cut because if I wouldn't necessarily. I don't love Sky Moore enough like week 1. Like I wouldn't start him. DFS seems difficult to win. I obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult, but when you play it, the more you play it, the better you get. It's like fantasy football. It's like best ball. The more you do it, the better you get. My best suggestion is if you're new to it, to not join the fucking big tournament on DraftKings, right? Don't join the $20 tournament and unload money into that to try to win $1,000,000. That is stupid. The best thing to do is join the $25 contest, the $1 contest, and then you can spend $20 and have a zillion lineups if you do the 25-cent one, and you will learn a lot better than just spending a couple $100 and then you lose it and then you're like, "Oh, I'm never playing again," because you had a bad experience. So I would suggest if you are new to DFS, daily fantasy sports, which Spock explained, I would suggest entering at a low price point or just a price point that you're comfortable with losing. That's my best advice. At the beginning, when I first started, I was stupid and I spent more money than I should have. I should have realistically done the $1, the 25-cent things. And now, if I was to have restarted, that's what I would have done. And now I'm okay at DFS. Like, I'm not saying I'm the greatest player to ever walk this earth, but I am pretty good at it now. And it's because I'm good at fantasy football. I think that's why I can figure it out. I went with Mike Will and A-Rob at the 36, 37 turn, had Waddle and Judy's options. I would have taken Waddle over Mike Will and A-Rob, but I do think that those are both acceptable picks. We're back up on the board here. Uh, let's see here. Sorry for going fucking radio silent. We're going with Odell. I understand Odell's banged up. He's probably going to miss like the first 3 months of the season, but when he comes back, I think he could really help us out a ton. I was thinking about going Watson. I might still go with him. I don't know. Fuck. I wanted Lowen Thomas. I should have just taken him. Yeah, I think we're pigeonholed into these tight ends unless I go with Cameron Brate or Kyle Rudolph. Running backs. Oh, let's go Trey Sermon. I know a lot of negativities came out about Trey Sermon, but I think Trey Sermon could still be the number one back at some point in San Francisco. So we're going to go with him, and then we're probably going to close out with a wide receiver here. Barkley or Swift? I'd go with Swift personally. I live in NYS. Got to hide all the cliffs, of course. I like Barkley and Swift a decent amount. I'd personally prefer Swift, but I understand why you'd go Barkley. So again, nothing crazy, right? If you take Barkley over Swift, I'm not going to be mad at you. This is my first year playing best ball. I had like $71 drafts. Yeah, that's exactly what I believe you should be doing when you're new to best ball, fantasy, all this shit. Like, it's not like my first fantasy football league was $150 to enter, right? So it was like $20. Actually, I think it was free because I started playing when I was like 8 years old. Good advice. I haven't drafted nearly enough Waddle. I like Waddle a ton. I think a lot of people are scared of Waddle because of Tyreek Hill being there. I think Tyreek Hill actually helps out Waddle. Now, maybe he's not going to be able to put up as big of numbers as last year, but I still think he's going to be a valuable pick. Let's read some news reports. Juju Smith-Schuster won't play preseason week 3. Gibson remains the best bet for backfield touches. I honestly don't believe that. That report, I don't believe it. Good luck. Yeah, good luck to everyone. How do you feel about drafting players in like round 5 or 6 that won't necessarily be in the starting lineup, but will be of value at that spot? I think that's fine. I think that you shouldn't necessarily look to fill your team, right? So, say you're in a league where it's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end flex. I don't think you need to fill out. Say you draft 2 running backs off the rip, then you draft like 5 receivers. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to fill out your tight end, your quarterback spot instantly. I think that is something that a lot of newer players do that I don't think you should be looking to do. Now you can do it. I'm not saying you're gonna fucking lose your league because you draft a tight end before an extra running back or something, but I think you don't have to do that. Thank you. Just had Deonta Ford with me at pick 61. I love Deontay, man. In Yahoo Fantasy, I have to choose Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, and Waddle, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Akers, Kareem Hunt, Patterson, Hopkins. Goddamn, that's a crazy team. Oh yeah, I have Chase. I read it as choose. Chase Allen. That's an amazing team. Team's beautiful. Alrighty. We gotta close the draft out here. I'm surprised no one's taken Watson. Like, again, I understand he's gonna miss time, but I think he's still valuable. Like, he could be like a top 5 fantasy quarterback at the end of the season. Tight ends, I'm not really loving here. Probably just gonna go with another receiver. I think we drafted an excellent team though. Let's see here. I think he's fine, Spock, but yeah, you could be right. Maybe you need another running back. The Pomeranian on Underdog is filled. Yeah, I was up until 12 doing those drafts last night. Filled so fast. I did, I think, 8. I did 20 of these. This is about a fill. The $2.22 on drafters, 10K to first is about a fill. I did 20. I think that's a fine amount. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get to the max 150. Battery? Am I dumb? What battery are you most interested in that is getting drafted? Can you reword that question, Brett? Because I'm dumb. I think you might mean running back or receiver or something, but it's a little too early for me. Too early as if it's fucking or too early in the day. Okay. Hold the phone, guys. Let me figure this out. Hold the fucking phone. Um, Good gambles with Calvin Ridley. Funny, funny. We're gonna go James Prochet. James Prochet. Oh, you mean duo? I got you, bro. I'm dumb. Okay, so let's recap our team real quick, and then I'll answer your guys' questions. So our quarterbacks are Tom Brady and Ryan Tannehill. Our running backs are Jonathan Taylor, 9-inch Nicholas Chubb, Rashad Penny, Darrell Henderson, Eno Benjamin, and Trey Sermon. Kind of hoped for a little bit of a better running back core, but I think the quarterbacks and the wide receivers make up for it. Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, Godwin, London, Woods, Tolbert, Marvin Jones, Nick Westbrook, and Odell Beckham Jr., and James Prochet. And our tight ends are Irv Smith and Gerald Everett. I love that team. Beautiful. Okay. So which duo are you most interested in getting drafted later at quarterback? Okay, all right. I got you. So I'm interested in a lot of I just spoke about it. Tannehill, Woods, Tannehill, Burks. I love a lot. I think that Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones is also very interesting. I think that Justin Fields, again, I don't love Justin Fields, but I think Justin Fields and his tight end Cole Kmet are very interesting as well. Let me tell you right now, Sammy. It is 4-point passing touchdown. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't wanna say the wrong thing. Do we, think Henry Ruggs is a sleeper? Yeah, dude, he's sleeping hard in jail right now. It's 4 points, Sammy. I forgot to say that. The scoring settings are right here on the screen. Um, Evans and Godwin, I don't love it. See, the thing is, it's different than a redraft. In a redraft league, I think it's crazy to draft 2 receivers on the same team, but not crazy. I don't think it's as optimal, but in best ball, I think it's very optimal. Thank you, man. Thank you. I worry about Ruggs getting targets. I worry about Calvin Ridley getting targets as well. Thank you, guys. Again, we'll pull a team up real quick and then probably skedaddle out of here. If you guys have any more questions, make sure to leave them in the chat. I could stay for like 5 more minutes. I just don't want to go crazy over an hour and end up talking for 2 hours. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, I could sit here all day and fucking talk to you guys. I really enjoy these streams. Talking to you guys is awesome. I appreciate every time you guys come out to watch. Alrighty. So this is the squad we got right here. Pretty solid. Great stream, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you too. Love you too. Let's see here. Yeah, it's facts. 20 watching, 20 likes. That's a fact. Thank you, guys. I'm not drafting Evans this year. His efficiency has gone down 3 years in a row. I think the reason why I like Evans because he just keeps scoring touchdowns. Oh, and that contest filled. The contest we just entered filled. Nice. Nice. Is CH in the 8th decent? I think so. I like CH. I've never liked CH in the past, but I do like him now. What is your max bench, brother? 600 pounds. I haven't benched in like 3 months. It's not very high though. Trust me, I'm low. Not a gym bro. I like him in the 8th. I agree. Alrighty. So we're getting towards the close here of the stream. Make sure that if you do want to sign up with drafters, use code Stochastic. It's been on the screen the whole time. It's also in the video description. It will get you, if you deposit $20, you will get a free entry into the $20 big tournament, as well as it will give you our best ball draft guide. And the $20 tournament on here again, 20,000 entries so far out of 55,000. If you are new to best ball, I genuinely believe this is the best place to play because the odds you win is significantly higher because it is not going to fill. In DFS, you hunt overlay. A lot of anyone who plays DFS knows that you're hunting these contests that aren't going to fill. It doesn't happen very much in DFS, but it will happen in best ball on drafters. I would be hunting that. And then I posted the link to our YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel, the Stochastic Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Make sure you guys do check that out. I'm going to be doing a mock draft every single day. It seems like from when I was making videos on here for myself, everyone loves mock drafts. So now I'm aggressively pushing towards mock drafts at the end of the year here. And I just turned the stream on. The stream literally has like a 2-second delay. So I'm pinning the other channel. Make sure you guys check out the other channel. Be a lot of videos and content on there from me. You have Javonte Williams as well. So your team's amazing, dude. Your team is fire. I've used Osmo's promos last year and never looked back. That's awesome. Yeah, make sure we have a lot of promos. So on basically all the videos, there's a code that you can use to get free stuff on all the websites. So make sure you guys do check that. I love you guys a bunch. I really appreciate you guys. I think you know what, to be honest with you, Spock, I was very out on Javonte. I'm starting to jump back in on him. I still think there's a chance Melvin Gordon really screws him over, but there's also a chance Melvin Gordon does get pushed to the side and he ends up dominating. How do you get JT and Najee? What is happening in that draft? Dude, home league drafts, anything can happen, Brett. That's the thing. In these best ball drafts, if you sit here, you're used to the same shit basically happening. Normally nothing crazy happens, but in redraft leagues, that's when all hell breaks loose. That's when shit hits the fan, things get crazy. So in redraft leagues, anything can happen. But thank you guys for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna get off now. I really appreciate you guys joining. I'll be back Monday with another live stream on here with Savoca. And we have the $1 million winner on Underdog, Liam Chess from last year. I really appreciate him coming on next Monday. And then Tuesday, I'll be back again by myself on here on Drafters. So make sure if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I always check the comment section on here and on the Fantasy Football channel. Again, I'll link it one more time. I really appreciate all you guys joining the stream today. I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. I'll see you guys soon. And let's hit that outro. Well, bang.